Look at that one. That is super beautiful. I moved the English daisies in this path last year. So they spread well. There's more growing in. They're too small. They're not blooming. Yeah, I really need to edge this one too, but I'm going to stop here. I have moved them around a little bit this way. Oh my goodness, you can see the ones I transplanted last time. Not looking good. I hope it looks better after the rain. Oh, over here too. I didn't water. And it did get hot for a couple of days. So those don't look as good as these ones. Ones in this garden. Oh my. Like so beautiful. Look at those. So every year I find a patch that needs to be thinned out or moved, backed up, and they get spread around. It was not easy to start that seed. It took me 3 tries to get a bunch going, and I sprouted them and grew them out underneath a table on the deck. So they needed protection. They needed a lot of time. And they needed not to be drowned in rain when they were just starting out. Forget-me-nots. Some of them look better than others, but I think they're all going to make it. I was kind of looking to see if I have any holes. This one looks terrible, but it's going to rain for a couple days, so I think it'll be all right. It'll settle in. The Triangle Gardens had a lot of work done on it in the past week or so. The old wall was still in place, railroad ties, and the boys took them out, which gave me another foot of garden space. And I added this yellow evergreen. Stays smallish, like 4 foot by 3 foot. But it needed a good space, so I had to move things. When I was moving these, they kind of fell apart into 2 pieces, which is fine. These are tall, so they're in the back. This clump was really close to the new tree, so I took it, same thing, I took it apart into a couple different pieces and moved it. Autumn sedum. The other thing that happened is they put a drain in, so they dug right straight through here. You can see where this has been dug up. So there's a drain pipe that went through here and connects. So all that stuff was dug up and put back in, and it looks fine, really. I think when we're done, the garden will look better than it did before. I need to do some edging. I moved this in here, Columbine Blue. It's called Blue Star. It's a nice piece. So I broke some things up. I gave the new little shrub plenty of room, and it'll be interesting year round. I'm gonna love it. I have a baby hollyhock that I put in here last year, and a gift, a lilac. It's about 15 foot tall. I'm going to keep it trimmed up at the bottom so it grows in a tree form instead of a shrub. Alright, let's go see what I have left. It's raining. I mean, I have good intentions, but am I going to get rained out? Maybe. I did start when I let the chickens out. The pond garden, I re-edged it. It also has a new tree. Looks pretty happy there. I added chamomile along the edge, which is what led to edging it. It needs to come out more, so I just keep edging it a little more at a time. Come along. Do I have room for another one? Maybe one right here. The forget-me-nots that I've been moving around are coming from back here. Don't think I'm going to be able to get them all, but maybe. They're mixed in with the garlic. It's not ideal, so I don't want to mess up all the garlic. I've got my biggest garlic back there, and I need it to seed. So I got 3 nice clumps that need to be moved. I can do that before it starts raining hard. I've got a raincoat on. Forsythias are this year. The Shasta Daisies I potted up this year. English Daisies. Last time I was pulling stuff up. I just moved a bunch of English Daisies out of the cottage garden that were growing towards the middle, where you won't see them. They'll just get buried. I have room here for forget-me-nots. They're all around, but this spot right here, I think the only spot that doesn't have them. These were moved a month ago, so they look great. They're not showing transplant shot signs. Looks like I might be able to get another one over here too. Over here they're good and thick. I love this combo. The purple blue with the pink that's coming out every year. I love this combo. Beautiful. This site's beautiful too. The English Daisies with the forget-me-not. Really pretty. I'm really hoping this vine will take off this year. I think the sail that I used to shade greenhouse 2 puts too much shade on this back garden, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind when I'm putting the shade sail up. Really pretty. I think I'm putting summer squash in these little front pieces, so I'm leaving them. There's fabric underneath those build outs that I have to get out of there a little at a time every year. Okay, so this is where I put the chamomile. And this one's been re-edged. I cleaned it a little as I was working over here. You can't tell because it was only a little. There were a few weeds and some sticks from last year's blooms. I don't have to do a lot of work to it. It'll grow in nice. Just stop and get a weed here and there. So beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go get forget-me-nots for the other garden. So I believe this is my first one in the front of the deck garden border. These bulbs are new this year. They're very small. I knew they were going to be small by the description on the package, but they are like almost going to get lost small. The new spot where I've been redoing the garden entrance garden. Here we go. English Daisies will look beautiful there. They'll appreciate the not too much sun. and one here. So I've moved them around. Every year I will. Every year I want them around me. Thought about adding them to the border of this garden too, but I haven't done it yet. The tulips are growing into the shrub, so choices are moving the daffodils. Do I call them tulips? The daffodils, either I can move them or I can cut back the shrub, or I could just leave it because the daffs are going to die anyway, and the shrub can help hide the mess. I love these daffodils. They are my favorite. They go really nicely with the color of the shrub too. Candy corn spirea. Wow, I remembered that. I get a gold star and kind of an award. Beautiful foliage starting. Black lace elderberry. Should bloom good this year. I've had it in the ground. This will be the 3rd season. Lots of forget-me-nots have reseeded in this garden. Lots of creeping Jenny on the other side. I had the red twig dogwood in a pot with creeping Jenny, and then I moved it from the pot into the garden with the creeping Jenny, like one big glob, and they're happy. The red twig dogwood is also starting to leaf out. Excellent. This is the variegated version. The leaves are so small, I don't know if I can get them. So I want to put the flowers in that pot there in the corner, but it's going to get down to 32, and I'll probably stick the flowers in the greenhouse too, the one that's not heated, just to protect them. But soon, my kitchen garden's going to flower. I have to pull everything down. We have wind coming in this next storm that's coming around. Wind and heavy rain. And then it'll get cold.